All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. Funny enough, not a financial planner, but something like that. But these days, when I talk to a lot of people, especially say in their 20s, even their 30s and teens, one of the first things that I hear, especially even from my own son, is that he wants to be a YouTube star. Now, if somebody heard this 10 years ago, they'd probably think that person was crazy. But over the years, we've seen people make a living or part of a living out of YouTube and gain popularity and be able to influence other people and have such a positive impact on other people's lives. With me, I have a friend of mine that I've known for years that has a amazingly popular YouTube channel. I'm not sure if anyone here, for those that haven't heard of it, it's called Whealth by Slaiman. And Slaiman joins us here today.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. It's one of those things when I meet people, or even friends of mine, or some people that haven't met me before face to face, when they've been listening to me on a podcast show, they sort of have a bit of a laugh, and I know how they feel because I've been watching your videos for a while, and even to this day, every time I see you, I just picture. It's just a bit weird. It's a bit surreal talking or seeing someone that you normally see on a screen or you hear, and then seeing them face to face. It's I don't know what to call it, but
no, you probably picture me being irritating and annoying.
Yep.
As the first flashback. So that's funny to hear though.
Very, very, and I mean, just to start off, for those that haven't heard of Whealth by Slaiman, can you sort of explain what the channel is, when it started, and what it's about?
Yeah, of course. So I started. It's coming up to over 5 years now. March 2015, I think, is when I first posted the first prank I ever pulled on now my fiance Kate. But essentially, I started this channel. I guess you can kind of tell from the title. It was more so about health and your well-being because of my background as a pharmacist. I wanted to start posting videos of sort of pharmacy advice and health advice. And I did a few of them. And then I was always fascinated with pranks and, comedy and things like that, and sort of got into it. And one day, don't ask me why, I just thought, hey, it'll be really fun if I started to prank Kate and then film her.
Let's just do a prank video.
And then just out of nowhere, I did it. She had no idea. And then I showed her, hey, so I just filmed all of that. And her first reaction was, yeah, please don't become one of those people who films me and posts it online. And look where I am now. But and then that's how it all started. And I guess it still ties into the initial, your health is your most valuable kind of wealth. We try to promote, feeling good and laughter and entertainment, and just sort of sometimes taking you out of those difficult times and experiencing our troubles rather than your own, and just trying to lift people's moods is, I guess, our main goal. And so that's the sort of
that is. I mean, I'd say it achieves that because, normally when I watch them, not that I have much time these days to sit on YouTube, but it's normally it's the end of a long day and I'm scrolling through Facebook or even just on YouTube now. YouTube knows that I like your videos, so obviously it just keeps popping up as soon as I go into YouTube. But just it's not at the end of the day, I'm half exhausted, mentally drained, and then I just find myself just laughing. And my wife hates it. Sometimes I'll literally just wake her up and be like, you gotta watch this. And it's hilarious. And I think you're up to like 2.3 million subscribers.
Yeah, approaching 2.4, but thanks, man. Yeah, that means a lot. As long as you're not waking her up to pull pranks on her, she can't be too upset.
Not yet, but I might be inspired after this, to be honest with
you.
Maybe. Anyone that knows me would know that they would not put that past me. But 2.4 million subscribers is heaps. Like to give people an idea that are listening to this, for a channel to hit 1 million subscribers is a big deal, So Good on you for getting this far. And I mean, I'm sure it hasn't been easy. Um, the first question I want to ask you about your journey is when I don't know what type of person you are personally, but to me, initially, when I first met you, you came across as a not as a shy person, but somebody that isn't really out there and loud and, all the rest of it. And I don't know if that's the type of person that you are, but can you sort of explain your emotions starting something like this? Because it does take a lot of guts to put yourself on video and post it and know that the whole world's about to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Because
true.
even for me, I've been public speaking for years, but even doing my first podcast episode, I was nervous as anything.
It is scary, yeah, and you sort of sidetrack yourself by wanting to start it, then giving the excuse that oh no, I don't think people are going to like it, or I'm going
Yep.
to look a bit silly. But I think, yeah, I mean, that's true. Actually, as you said, it's sort of I've never been one to be that outlandish and things like that, and I guess I just sort of thought I didn't even think, to be honest, I was going to put it anywhere. I just kind of thought
You
I
didn't
was
even
just going to
think.
just to film it and then see what happens, and maybe just because I was around Kate and I sort of, in my most self when I'm with her, and I think she's the same with me. I sort of could be a bit louder and a bit more, silly. And yeah, maybe as just
Yep.
being around her all these years, we sort of feed off each other and we sort of have a great time with each other that it sort of lifts our, selves a bit. But I mean, yeah, I guess once you get over that initial hurdle and, you see that it's not the worst thing to put yourself out there. You
No.
sort of get that boost of motivation. You sort of think, oh no, this is a bit of fun. But then in saying that, I mean, I probably could never do a live speech or anything of that sort. So I need to.
Who knows? Honestly, like and I mean, it's obviously who you are. Like in the videos come across as being very genuine, which is why I think they are so popular. And I mean, starting off, I guess the benefit of YouTube is that you've got the option to see it before it goes live and to edit it and all the rest of it, compared to being live on stage in front of people. But I mean, it just shows that, like, sometimes our brains or mentally we hold ourselves back from doing things that we can most likely achieve. I
That's
mean,
right.
that applies
Yeah.
to me anyway, doing this show. Are there any tips that you'd give to people listening to this wanting to start a YouTube channel? Anywhere they should start, or things they should watch out for or avoid?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's just about starting something that you like and something that you enjoy. I definitely think it's not the best thing to sort of do something just for, the benefit of earning a bit of extra pocket money or, trying to sell something necessarily. I think if you truly like sort of enjoy what you want to do and you believe in what you want to do, I think that sort of replicates and reflects a lot, in the out product. So I think, find something that you enjoy and I mean, just honestly give it a go. You
Yep.
never know what happens, and don't be discouraged. I think a lot of people may try, and then they don't see a huge turnout or a huge result, and they get a bit disheartened and they stop. And I think it's important just to keep going, and if it's something you truly want to do, yeah, give it a go. And I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It's sort of just you get to experience, filming, and you get to experience posting pictures or whatever you really want to do, and then you look back and go, that was fun, and I tried it, and I'm glad I did, rather than thinking, I wonder if I did try it, and I wonder if I did make the effort to, give it a go. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, I think doing something you genuinely like, something that you yourself enjoy, and then just keep persisting with it. I mean, as I said, I used to love watching prank videos, and I used to just annoy Kate, and she used to annoy me, and I used to think, you know what, this is not going to be much different than if I just film it
Yep.
and just post it.
Yep. It's so true. And yeah, and for those that haven't seen the channel, Slaiman has, now it's his fiance, Kate, and they literally just play pranks on each other. And the pranks, I mean, from what I see, the pranks have to get more intense after each episode, don't they? Because you're sort of both obviously at a point now where you're sort of expecting the other person to prank you.
It's getting
So
difficult. Yeah.
you have to put in more effort. You can't just like stick a fake spider under someone's pillow anymore.
No, and sometimes you spend days planning this elaborate prank, and then it just all fails because she catches me out straight away. She doesn't. She sort of, Kate's gotten pretty good. She sort of knows when I'm playing up or doing things. So I have to find there's just those small things to try and really convince her.
Yep.
Um, So I guess that sort of in turns makes them a bit more, intense at points. And sometimes they go a bit too far, which I regret. And I see it happening in front of me and I go, okay, I've got to stop this now. It's not real, Kate. It's a prank.
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's hard when you've gone so far as well. Like that, you've planned it. It's
Yes.
happening.
Yep.
It's
Too
must be
many comes to
heartbreaking to turn
mind.
back. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a free 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au. Any fails that you want to share?
Oh, I can't even count how many fails. There have been
Yep.
moments where I've set up the camera and I've started to, try and convince Kate of something, and then I just hear something drop, and I've realized it's the camera in my hiding spot. There are other times where she finds the camera, but I mean, we've done a few, I think, pranks where, for instance, she's tried to prank me with something, and I've sort of caught on, and I've realized, you know what, I think she's playing a prank on me right now, and I'm not going to expose it. I'm going to roll with it and see what I can do with this. And one of them is actually our most viewed video ever, which is
Yep.
kind of crazy. She picked me up one day and she told me that she was pregnant. And I, at first, was like, my life is flashing before me. This is a few years back before we got engaged. So I was a bit nervous at the time. And then I remember seeing her little camera in the car. She had hidden it sort of in the dashboard area. And I went, hang on a second, is she filming me right now? And just before I sort of was like, you know what, you're pranking me, this is over, I thought, I'm going to flip this around on her. I'm going to give her a taste of her own medicine. And it worked too well.
Oh, no. What did you
Uh,
do?
I, oh,
Or do we have
so
to watch it to see?
yeah, I think you have to watch it
Okay.
to see.
Okay.
But
Okay. Yeah.
I had recently been overseas with my cousins, and I had said that I had to get a medical before going just to check my vaccines are up to date. And I said that the doctor had told me that I couldn't actually have kids. And I didn't want to tell her because I didn't know what it meant for our future. And I took it too far. And she got really upset by saying I was just joking. I had no idea.
Oh, that's so funny. I think I've seen this episode.
It
You
was
know, when you watch that many episodes, you literally forget what you've seen.
the same. Yeah.
I think I've seen this one. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's apart from the fact that you have to take things up a notch, like so much planning goes into these things. Like it's hilarious. Like for me, one of the ones I watched recently was the engagement party
Oh,
with the
yep. Yep.
dress. It's
Oh, no.
oh,
That was, oh, yep. Yep.
oh, it's hilarious because I know if there's anything I've learned, I mean, with anyone, but you don't mess with someone's engagement or wedding. And I think literally everyone's waiting. I think everybody's waiting. I think it's probably going to, I don't know, it's probably going to feature on channel 7 or 9, but I'm sure everyone's waiting for the wedding just to see what's going to happen.
Oh, my gosh. I've been told 50
Uh,
times by
and
Kate,
she's,
there
yeah,
are no pranks on the wedding day. There are no pranks on the
yeah,
wedding day. And I'm actually suspecting now maybe she's planning something. So,
yeah,
I got to be on my toes.
yeah,
But
exactly.
the engagement one was a lot of fun. That was when I rewinded the clocks back, right? And
Yes.
then, or forward. And then I convinced her we were late for the engagement part. Yeah, that
And
was
then,
was a lot of fun
and,
for me.
and then she thought you were ruining her dress. And
And I had gotten a t-shirt or something that looked like her nice dress she was going to wear, and I was
yeah.
mopping some water up. She came out and she saw that dress. Oh no, yeah, no.
Oh, man.
I knew midway through. I was like, okay, I think this has gone too far.
Yeah.
She's way too hot-headed right now for me to keep going.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever start pranking other people together?
We have a few times. I think it is fun to prank other people. I do enjoy teaming up with Kate, but I mean, I guess we know each other so well. We know how to push each other's buttons more than we do anyone else. So it's tempting, to to pull them on each other rather than others. But yeah, I have pulled a few pranks with the help of Kate, for example, on my sister Tamara and my cousin Mikey, and their reactions are always quite funny as well. And I mean, not to say that they haven't tried to pull pranks back on us a few times. So yeah, always down to prank anyone, to be honest, as long as we've got a good idea in store.
Yeah, that's it. And like you keep the quality up there, which is good. And as I said, like what you said, you sort of started this off not expecting for it to become as big as it has, and it's obviously become in a way, a bit of a career for you. And as I said, for those listening to this that want to, I mean, my son always tells me he wants to be a YouTube star. And I'm like, you're not going to be a YouTube star. But probably shouldn't say that because who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't put it past him.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like for those listening, like I really like that you said that somebody should follow their passion and they should just do what they love, and just if it gets them somewhere, it does. If it doesn't, at least they enjoyed it. Because I think that applies to a lot of things in life, like even starting a business or even working somewhere. You know, I've said this before on one of my other episodes, but one of my favorite quotes by Robert Kiyosaki is that you should work to learn, not to earn. If you do what
Yeah.
you enjoy doing, if you do what you love doing, not just work for something just because it's going to make you good money, it will always get you somewhere. Like passion will always get you somewhere if you really are passionate about something and if you put in that effort and that energy.
That's right. Yeah. And I always used to follow sort of a similar quote, but it was you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I always thought to myself, that's true every time. If I don't try it, then I'm just going to fail no matter what.
Yep.
So at least give it a go. But I think people are hesitant just because, as you said, it's a bit unfamiliar and it's not the traditional route of some paths. But I think it's always, it's good to try things that are new and try and follow things that you're interested in. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it is. And it's the new things that I think will, I mean, that's how anyone got successful. I mean, no one ever got successful by reinventing the wheel. Well, they did get successful by reinventing the wheel, but I mean, like they didn't go and just like most of the time they're thinking outside the box or they're doing something different or something that no one's ever thought of doing, or normally
Mm.
they were told they were crazy when they started doing it sometimes. And actually, on that note, I mean, did you get any weird reactions from family or friends to begin with?
I did actually. I mean, I don't think my like I guess I'll tell the story of when I told my parents about it. I didn't actually tell them, but I had gone to Melbourne with my family, and we were visiting my sister who was studying down there. And I was with my mum, and we had walked out of the airport, and some guys came up to me and they wanted to take a picture. And my mum, I don't think I've ever seen her so confused. She just said, "Why did they want to take a picture with you?" And I said, "Oh, I've recently been posting some videos online on YouTube." She had no idea what YouTube was. And she just said, "Why would anyone want to watch you?" And then for the entire cab ride, she just stared at me and said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what just happened. And so I showed her a video and she was hooked. She was watching it and she went, "Thanks for telling me, but what is going on right now?" And
Yep.
I don't know. I guess, yes, they didn't really grasp the entire concept straight away. I think they were a bit sort of unsure about things and they sort of thought, is this where you're going? Is this like, are you doing this rather than doing that? And I just thought, no, I'm just giving it a go and seeing what can happen and having a bit of fun. And then I think they just didn't like that sort of flexibility about it and sort of
Yep.
thought, okay, well, make sure you keep studying and make sure you get a full time job, sort of thing.
Yep. Yep. Of course. Of course. Because as I said, it's not what they're used to. And again, I'd be the
That's
same. Like,
right.
I mean, now it's a bit different, don't get me wrong, but as a parent, you normally want what's best for your child. And if you hear they're doing something that isn't what you would say is acceptable in your mind or what you think is acceptable, suddenly it starts, alarm bells start ringing, you know? But
Yeah.
hey, you followed your gut, you followed your passion, and you know it's worked out. And like what you said, if somebody that's listening to this does something like this, starts a channel, even starts a podcast show. Like I talk to so many of my friends and clients and anyone that I talk to, like that, when I get comments about the podcast show, and I think they would be really good at starting their own show, I'll just encourage them. I'm happy to give them tips, and it's just one of those things. If you just, it's always just taking that first step. And initially, yeah, it's like what we've both said. It's a bit nerve wracking, and you think you might stuff up, but at the end of the day, it's the only way you're going to learn. And I encourage anyone that's listening to this to visit the channel if they haven't already. Not that you need any more subscribers, but it's just youtube.com/user/wealth by Slaiman, or they can probably just Google Wealth by Slaiman, and it's
should come up. Yeah.
WHEALTH by SLAIMAN. But we'll put it in the description of this episode anyway.
Yeah. And the wealth is deliberately spelt that way. I didn't make a spelling mistake.
Yes.
It's meant to symbolize your health is your most valuable type of wealth.
Yes. And I could not agree with that any more than that, to be honest with you, any more than you, because it's very, very good point. And as I said, it's the pranks. When you first think of pranks, you don't think of anything like that. But when you actually look at what you're trying to achieve and the effect that you're having on the world, you and Kate, it's massive. And they say laughter is the best medicine, you know? I just want to finish with one last point as well. With all my episodes, I like to finish off with a dad joke.
Awesome.
I don't know if you've got a couple up your sleeves.
Oh, no, not for me.
Yeah, but what's an astronaut's favorite part of the computer? The spacebar.
The spacebar. Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, you know it.
That's a good one there. That's a good one.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't buy anything with Velcro.
Why is that?
It's a total ripoff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I know. Should I start a YouTube channel with my dad jokes or not really?
You know what? I'd watch that. That'd be a fun time. Just
sweet.
Pop the video on and hear you reel off some dad jokes.
I'll make it my plan B or my retirement goal. Thank you so much for your time, Slaiman. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.